Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, The Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, and the crazy life is the digital asset space. And so, yeah, so I did a video early this morning, posted it early this morning anyway, and the the video clips did not play any audio, so I apologize for that. I did discover why that is. It's so funny, right? You kind of get used to everything that you do. You're talking, you're doing your thing, you're talking to your computer, and suddenly you're like, you know what? I'm going to share some video clip, and it's a different thing on Zoom than it is when you're using your what is it? Your software, your free software, OBS Studio. So I discovered what I did not do, which is I didn't check a box. So now I know, right? So on Zoom, on the bottom left, you have to click share computer audio or something along those lines. So figure that out. So there that is. I apologize for that, guys. I'm going to do it again today, and I'm certain that it'll work for you guys. So listen, really excited about today's video. So this is XRP Ripple Daily News. XRP Ripple Daily News in 0 to 10 minutes. Let's do this. So a distributed system with no incentives breeds natural alignment among stakeholders to maintain forward progress. That was Joel Katz speaking, right? David Schwartz speaking at Stanford Blockchain Conference yesterday. So, you know, David Schwartz is a genius, and Ripple agrees, obviously. Let me give you a little kind of a background history of some of the very smart things that David Schwartz has kind of gotten out to the public. I love that he gets on Twitter and social media and educates us on the real deal. So this is a shout out to Real XRP Boy who shared this. Says, all it is, there's no such thing as fair distribution. BTC mining is not the secret sauce, contrary to popular belief. In my opinion, that's a narrative created to generate token sales. We wait. So last night was my perspective. Last snapshot was my perspective, as Joel had seemed to have agreed by the like. So I'm going to share a couple things here with you guys. So here's the first thing. This is on coinspector.com. Ripple CTO David Schwartz talked about the origins of XRP and mainly said that a realization about Bitcoin's secret sauce had led to the creation of XRP. I remember that story. He addressed a lot of issues regarding crypto and the blockchain tech at SXSW in Austin, Texas, talking about how he ended up in the crypto space to being with. He said that the software for Bitcoin was not designed to solve the mining pool issue, and a lot of people were complaining about performance-related problems in the software. He continued to explain more about the subject as the daily HODL retains details, and this whole thing was that basically led to the creation of the XRP ledger. Good history note there, just for some of you guys who have not been following the channel for a while or have not been in the space for a while. It was centered on the notion that the public ledger is the core innovation that makes BTC revolutionary. When we looked at Bitcoin, I think a lot of people in the community thought that proof of work was the secret sauce or the magic element of Bitcoin. This is David Schwartz. And what I and a few other people, Jed McCaleb, realized this first. And that was the key insight of that. And that was the key insight of his that led to the formation of the XRP ledger and ultimately Ripple. Was his insight that proof of work was not the secret sauce, he said. After that, he also revealed the secret sauce of Bitcoin. The secret sauce of Bitcoin is that all of the state information is public. The ledger is completely public. All right, so this is someone talking to David Schwartz. Like proof of stake, there is no mining with the Ripple consensus protocol. An interesting byproduct of consensus is that fair initial distribution appears to be impossible. Thus, Ripple started off owning all XRP and has been manually distributed over the years. And this is a good point. This is from 2018, and David addresses it, and I love that, right? Fair distribution is still impossible. Giving to electric companies through people with subsidized power or good deals on ASIC works, but why is it fair? Smart dude. Anyway, so this is kind of his last thing here. Is fair distribution possible, he's asking? I suppose it's very subjective and depends on who you're talking to. I tend to agree with David Schwartz, but Joel Katz. But hey, everyone perceives things differently. David Schwartz liked the tweet. Cool thing about XRP, in my opinion, is that if it succeeds, the whole global world benefits in more than one way. Again, that's another shout out to real boy XRP doing his thing. Questions. So let me share some other interesting stuff I think about this guy who is a genius in my opinion. So again, shout out to Status, XRP_Crow at Status on Twitter. Proof of work is expensive. The biggest problem with proof of work is that honest participants have to actually pay as much as any attacker is willing to pay. That's a big problem. David Schwartz on incentives and proof of work blockchains. Let me play this for you guys again. Started from the beginning.
2009, proof of work is expensive. The biggest problem with proof of work is that honest participants have to actually pay as much as any attacker is willing to pay. If you think about that, that's like the worst possible security model from a cost efficiency standpoint. Again, the natural stakeholders, the people who are paying the miners to mine, the people who are buying the bitcoins that the miners make, the people whose money is coming from outside the Bitcoin ecosystem and going to build ASICs and going to pay for electricity, have to actually pay on a continuous basis more money than any attacker is willing to pay to execute a double spend.
Brilliance, right? And he knows from which he speaks, and I love the fact that he's willing to share that. So that was obviously the Stanford Blockchain 2020. So that was more recent. That just happened, I believe, yesterday or the day before yesterday. And so sharing some insight, right? Very, very, very smart dude. Here's another one. Again, shout out to Status, at Status on Twitter. It's XRP_CRO. Solve people's problems, he says. That's how you make money. You don't build friction into the system. You build friction out of the system. Again, David Schwartz on incentives and proof of work blockchains. I love the timing of this particular talk, right? We all know about the person on Twitter who just seems to be making so many issues about validators and nodes and all these different kind of things and missing really the bigger picture. Let's share another one of David Schwartz gems as he so politely educates the masses on the real deal.
It's crazy, that means you understood what I was saying.
Yeah, because I think if you are not crazy, then most of blockchain's founders are crazy. Because they all come with incentives, right?
You know what? You know why? It's because they want to be the forced stakeholders. They want to make money by solving other people's problems. That's why. If you want to make money by solving other people's problems, the last thing you actually want to do is let people solve their own problems at low cost. I can't tell you how many great ideas I saw, and like, oh, and we added a token to it. This way, here's our tokenomics. Like, God, it was a great idea, and you just screwed it up. Solve people's problems. That's how you make money. You don't build, you don't build friction into the system, you build friction out of the system. So yes, I agree with you that that's what a lot of people are doing, and I think they're doing it because they're attracted by like the quick route to riches by solving other people's problems.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting point, right? He's not saying solve other people's problems. What he's saying though is solve other people's problems by letting them solve their problems. And I think that's kind of the difference. We all know that the incentives, just like Ripple says here, look, a distributed system with incentive breeds natural alignment among stakeholders to maintain forward. And so there's this big challenge in the proof of work model with it being incentive-based. And he's saying that the people who tend to mine and they have these huge and expensive costs, and it's going to become a problem going forward. And so I like that he covered it. I think the timing of the talk, I find that to be very, very interesting. And I've said this on this channel before. I just believe that there's this overall, it seems like coordinated effort to, I would say dethrone Bitcoin, not get rid of Bitcoin. Like, they don't want BTC to be the main thing when the world thinks of distributed ledger technology or blockchain technology. There's a reason why they keep pointing out. Lagarde just mentioned the other day about mining and the power that it consumes, right? This just, we got all this climate change stuff going on from the UN and the World Economic Forum. Like, it feels like there's this coordinated attack. to really just take down Bitcoin dethrone Bitcoin, I would probably say more so than anything, and point out the flaws in the proof of work system, point out any flaws that they possibly can. So very, very interesting, I guess, movement. I would call it a movement because I really do think that they're really trying to do that, and maybe not destroy it, but dethrone it and have them looking at perhaps another asset. Wonder what that asset might be. All right. So what else did I wanted to share with you guys? This is the last one here I'm going to share for you guys. I think this is important again, and it speaks again to the overall, what I think is the overall message that's being sent out to the masses from the blockchain and digital asset space community. And here's another one from Real XRP where he says, yeah, and who's to say that at the first sign of trouble, the cryptocurrency market participants won't calmly in an orderly fashion or frantically, just pick one, exit into something more promising or more successful. Time will reveal all. We wait onwards. So shout out to XRP, Real XRP boy for that. Really good stuff lately. But I'll question. This is a quote from David Schwartz here. And Lagarde says cryptocurrency mining is consuming too much power. Consuming too much power. The reason, if XRP is successful for any reason, Ripple can make a lot of money for the stakeholders by selling XRP. The same is true of every other XRP highlight. That's just a fact. We are going to drive a massive amount of demand for XRP because we're solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, right? So this coordinated effort, it seems like to me, to kind of dethrone Bitcoin and BTC, point out the flaws, expensive to mine. Lagarde talking about mining power is taking too much, different, these different things. Brad Garlinghouse pointing out the fact that the utility, we're going to solve a multi-trillion-dollar problem and drive a massive demand for XRP. All of these things are, to me, the focal points and what they're ultimately looking to do. And that is, in my humble opinion, dethrone BTC and replace it, if you will, with the greatest digital asset ever created. Throw in the ILP, throw in the XRP ledger, throw in XRP, the greatest digital asset ever created. And it seems that they've decided, like we say in the community a lot, XRP is just standard. It's already been decided. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all my videos and remind you of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.